To correct Maruf Raza, the Indo-US nuclear deal was operationalized. It is not that the deal was not operationalized. The problem was with regard to Section 17B of the Nuclear Liability Act. As it was originally proposed, you had to prove negligent intent on behalf of the supplier in order to get him to recompense the operator.
Anyway, come to the broader point I asked,
by Parliament. And I'll answer it one by one. So therefore, that was changed by Parliament, and suppliers' liability was made absolute.
Come on.
Now we would really have to wait and see as to what exactly.
Sure. Now come to the point.
The United States of America. Listen, stop interrupting, Arnab, and allow me to answer that. So we'll have to wait and see that what exactly, has happened between India and the US in order to change something which has been passed by Parliament. And now talking about the multiple failures that you were
failures.
You tell me, Mr. Goswami, in the past 10 years, have you ever seen more activity on the line of control and the international border than you've done in the past 7 months between India and Pakistan?
Have you seen the United States formally mention the D company?
I'm asking you the questions, you can answer them.
But I'm asking you a counter question, you can answer them.
What happened between what this government did? Was it in any manner different from what had been arrived at in Bali? And the answer is no. So therefore, you deliberately stole the Bali agreement, in order to try and win a few brownie points. So you actually undermined India's diplomacy and India's strategic purposes rather than furthering them.
Okay, so
I
thought, 15 minutes on this debate. I thought Manish Tiwari at this point would concede tonight, at least concede tonight that on one area where the contrast is too apparent is on foreign policy. You can say today we'll still see what Modi does on economy.
In fact, you're right.
But he won't give in.
The contrast on foreign policy is very apparent. 10 years, the UP's foreign policy was a success. While if you actually look at this government, on each and every foreign policy front, there has been a failing.
Maruf Raza first, before Nalin Kohli.
And a complete vindication of the UP's civil nuclear agreement.
Manish, please. Maruf first, then Nalin Kohli.
Arnab, let me remind the distinguished Mr. Tiwari, who's very strong in his support for his own party's achievements. But let me remind you, sir, jog your memory. Let's put aside the LOC for a moment, okay? Now, where did we go in our relationship with our neighbors? Those that we had good relations with, we squandered the goodwill there. Did Mr. Manmohan Singh have time in 10 years to visit Nepal? Did Mr. Manmohan Singh have the political clout to get Mamata Banerjee to fall in line with his good-intended arrangement with Bangladesh, whether to settle the enclaves dispute or the water dispute? Did Mr. Manmohan Singh's government have the strength to oppose Jayalalitha and all other Tamil politicians and go across and become a leader of the entire 54-nation Commonwealth fraternity when they were waiting with open arms for India to come and go across also and visit the Tamil area and give a soothing balm there to a subject which needed India's attention? Did Mr. Manmohan Singh at any stage take any initiative vis-a-vis Pakistan except blundering along, whether at Sharm el-Sheikh or even addressing the fact that Pakistan is really starting with 2611 to say that Pakistan uses terror as an extension of foreign policy, and then going across to amend his entire position and say there is a trust deficit between the two of us, so we need to address it. Let me go into the larger world map and I'll tell you many other things that Mr. Manmohan Singh's government could have done if they had the sagacity, but they didn't do. So please, sir, in case of China, we had intrusions. You're talking of intrusions, and I'm not an apologist for Mr. Modi's government, but there were ceasefire violations that were happening in pretty large numbers, even in Manmohan Singh's government. What are we talking about? What is the foreign policy success in Manmohan Singh's second tenure that you can actually thump your chest about? I don't know any of them, sir. Please educate me.
Questions. Allow me to answer that. You talked about Bangladesh.
Yes,
has the land boundary agreement been done? Has the Teesta River waters issue been settled by this government? You are talking about Pakistan.
Sir, you
in
are
the last
expecting
6 months.
you are
expecting
them to achieve. You are expecting them to achieve in 6 months. You are expecting them to achieve in 6 months what you couldn't in 10 years.
With regard to Sri Lanka, have you seen any tangible development at all? So therefore, Mr. Maruf Raza, as an analyst, I don't expect you to be so biased.
Mr. Manmohan, Mr. Tiwari, sir, Mr. Tiwari, sir, the Sri Lankan government first announcement with the new government coming in place was in favor of India. So let's not flatter yourself. Please don't flatter yourself.
Whether it was regard to
Mr. Tiwari,
the UPA government
all your neighbors,
Mr. Tiwari, I don't want to ascribe motive to what you're saying, but I hope that your bitterness does not stem from the fact, Maruf, 1 second. I hope your bitterness does not stem from the fact that you once carried out a big campaign to somehow ensure that Narendra Modi does not get a visa to the United States of America. And today the same Manmohan Singh has met, 1 second, allow me to complete, has met Obama 4 times in the last 4 months. And he's met Obama in September, he's met Obama in Australia, he's met Obama in Myanmar, now he's welcomed Obama in New Delhi. Not just that, he has also managed to put his foot down on the World Trade Organization Facilitation Agreement, which was largely agreed upon in Bali in 2013, got India to have its say, and now also clinched the nuclear deal.
The United States of America makes its visa decisions based on pressure put by other countries.
Well, we know.
Based upon pressure put by pressure groups. Is that what you're trying to suggest?
Well, or for that matter, despite your candy floss diplomacy vis-a-vis Pakistan.
So therefore, somebody as intelligent and as erudite as you, one would have expected better.
Well, I would have expected you to acknowledge at least tonight on the issue of national security.
But all that I'm saying is that it is delicious irony that after having opposed the civil nuclear agreement,
now you are going on that. I want to broaden.
Motion, after having undermined the Liability Act, that is the only peg you find.
Mr. Tiwari, I want to broad-base the debate to the overall failures or weaknesses of foreign policy, but you seem determined not to, and I wonder why. Is it because you will have to acknowledge? Is it because you will have to acknowledge that this government has been able to get?
I can only say that you're looking at it through a very myopic lens, Mr.
So please, today there are people who are saying have a bipartisan approach in foreign policy. Be mature about it.
A bipartisan approach does not mean that you do an entire U-turn and then not even apologize for the U-turn.
Nalin Kohli, 9 minutes into the debate, the Congress refuses to acknowledge the Modi government is doing better. Nalin Kohli.
Listen, I think I'm not going to try to outshout Mr. Tiwari and just try to make points for the sake of making it. I'll let the people of India judge it. We certainly are young in government. We are there for less than a year. And whatever is being done is there in public notice. Whatever's coming out is also in public notice. So by our claiming credit for it or not claiming credit, nothing's going to happen. What's there will be seen and will be judged for our action. That's how the Prime Minister of India, as Prime Minister Narendra Modi does, that's his philosophy. At the end of it, Mr. Tiwari can keep on trying to find fault where none exists. That is his prerogative.
Now, how much innovation, for example, Kumar Ketkar, you've been a critic. How much innovation did Manmohan Singh show in his foreign policy? Where was the personal touch? Where was the outreach?
I don't think.
He went and told George W. Bush in one of those notorious comments, he says, the people of India love you.
Dr. Manmohan Singh.
No, he said at one point.
Did not believe in body language, he believed in cerebral language. He believed in cerebral language.
So
he discussed the issues, and not only
are we seeing the lack of it?
But he also discussed
Mr. Ketkar, are we seeing the lack of it under Prime Minister Modi?
The difference
Mr. Ketkar, are we seeing the lack of cerebral matter in terms of Prime Minister Modi? Are you saying that to the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Ketkar?
Dr. Manmohan Singh.
Mr. Ketkar, 1 second.
Mr. Ketkar.
Mr. Ketkar,
are you saying that? Are you saying that for the Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Modi? That there's a lack of cerebral content here.
Modi does not do
Mr. Ketkar, that's a very dangerous comment.
Mr. Ketkar, clarification.
Yes, that's a clarification that you should come over.
1 second. Does Mr. Kumar Ketkar need to clarify right now? Mr. Ketkar, 1 second. Mr. Ketkar, please listen.
Had a cerebral language.
No, please listen, Mr. Ketkar. First of all, if you made that comment, the BJP spokesperson taking offense at what you said, You says Modi believes in body language and Manmohan Singh believed in cerebral language.
I am not a Congress person.
No, but he has a question for you. What's your question?
Mr. Khedkar, I'm asking a simple question. Are you saying Prime Minister Modi does not have the brains or the cerebral capacity to deal with these issues? What are you trying to make a point?
You said it is a body language.
I did not.
I said, Doctor.
I did not, Mr. Khedkar.
Don't put words in my mouth.
No, I'm not. I'm merely asking you a question, Mr. Khedkar. Mr. Khedkar, I'm not trying to put any words. Please just say this. Are you saying that Prime Minister Narendra Modi does not... No, what are you saying? He believes in body language and he believed in cerebral content. I mean, any layman is going to ask you that question, Mr. Khedkar. Just give us a clarification.
Respect Parliament as Dr. Manmohan Singh did.
No, but Mr. Khedkar,
that's a clarification.
But Mr. Khedkar,
if you haven't said so, say so.
No, but
Mr. Khedkar, say so that I didn't mean it that way. That's the end of it.
Kumar Khedkar, no, 1 second. I'll ask Rakesh Sood this, who's been quiet on this. 1 second. There is an attempt to say, Mr. Sood.
Modi's brains into the debate.
No, 1 second. I'm bringing Mr. 1 second, Mr. Khedkar, look beyond Paul. You see, there is this attempt constantly by the Congress and by certain lobbies to say, as far as Narendra Modi's foreign policy is concerned, it's symbolism. My question to you, Mr. Sood, is this just a photo opportunity? Can this just be seen in isolation? Because we've had a string of visits of Obama's cabinet ministers, which many would have thought is indicative of a proactive approach from the US vis-a-vis India of late. So my question to you, Mr. Sood, and I think I just lost the line out there, he's back out there. Can all those people who are saying nice photo op but no substance, are they really justified in that assessment?
Certainly.
No, Mr. Sood.
No, not at all. I think there is a lot of substance in the visit, and I've already said that, you know, when there is a transformative moment in relationships between two countries, the personal chemistry counts for a lot. And we saw that in the interaction between President Obama and Prime Minister Modi. I think one key difference here between Dr. Manmohan Singh and Prime Minister Modi is very clearly that Prime Minister Modi is both the leader of his party, undisputed leader of his party, and also the Prime Minister of India. Dr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister of India, but he was not the leader of the party. So he did not have the same kind of backup and support from the entire coalition that perhaps Prime Minister Modi can have.
Precisely.
And therein lies the difference.
Precisely. And that matters, doesn't it? I'm sorry, the image is frozen out there. That's Rakesh Sood, former diplomat speaking. You see, that's the point. I find a great amount of bitterness somewhere. Kumar Khedkar, don't mind my saying, but there appears to be among the critics of Narendra Modi today, the greatest amount of bitterness, Mr. Gujral, comes on the diplomatic front.
I am not denying the credit.
Because there was...
Where is the question of bitterness? I am not denying the credit. I am only saying that Narendra Modi should be graceful enough to give the credit to Dr. Manmohan Singh, which he is not. So the question is of Narendra Modi's gracelessness.
But he's not taking away credit, but the question here is, a person brings
not recognizing Dr. Manmohan Singh's role.
Mr. Khedkar, Mr. Khedkar, the point is, not only has, you see, look at the innovation that has been brought here. People can say it doesn't matter. Let me ask Mr. Gujral. You know, when Narendra Modi goes to the US, there's a joint editorial in the Wall Street Journal.
Said there is no innovation.
Joint editorial in the Wall Street Journal. Then he gets Obama to come on his Man Ki Baat.
Joint editorial and joint
Then there is a personal touch. There's a personal touch.
Come on, joint Man Ki Baat and joint editorials don't really matter.
So what matters, sir?
They are completely PR.
What matters, sir? A Prime Minister of India insults all the people of this country by saying to George, did the Congress
party... policy is not determined by joint...
Sir, I'm asking you. Sir, I'm asking Mr. Gujral. Many people would have taken offense. Manmohan Singh goes to George W. Bush in an extremely, if I may say so, obsequious, subservient and uncalled for manner. Goes and whispers to George W. Bush, Mr. Bush, the people of India love you. I thought that was obsequious, unnecessary. That's not hard talk. You think the Americans would have liked that? Where were people complaining then about the manner in which Manmohan Singh, as Prime Minister of India, was conducting himself while on a state visit? Nobody questioned it then. You didn't question it then, Kumar Khedkar. Did you? No, you didn't. That was okay.
It's a matter of questioning Dr.
That was okay.
Integrity of that. What is wrong? What is wrong in saying one head of the state?
What is wrong?
One head of the state.
Yes, okay, Manish Tiwari can answer that.
Both elected, saying that our people love you. What's wrong with that?
Heavy lifting.
What's wrong with that?
Nuclear apartheid. Is that a fact or not?
What?
If the Indo-US Civil Nuclear Agreement went through the nuclear suppliers group, was it not because of the heavy lifting which George W. Bush did personally? You may disagree with him on Iraq or Afghanistan, but insofar as India and the US was concerned, the Republican administration did walk the extra mile in order to see that a nuclear apartheid which had been in place for 34 years finally and conclusively gets broken.
While India and the US are on a tango on an Indian melody, certainly it's fascinating to see the tango on a Congress melody between Mr. Tiwari and Mr. Ketkar. It doesn't matter. Everyone's seeing that.
At that point,
Mr. Nalan Kohli,
but at that point, Democrats were in opposition.
And what you've really done today is displayed the lather of chicanery by doing a complete U-turn and not even.
Well, I was wondering when you would use that term, Mr. Tiwari, chicanery. I was surprised it hadn't come up yet.
In 2015, you try and take credit for the same nuclear deal.
Look, Mr. Tiwari, you can't take Mr. Modi's credit away. The Prime Minister of India is working. You may not like it. The rest of the nation will see. They will judge him. Why? So therefore, what are you trying to take credit away from? Allow the nation to do some work. The Prime Minister is doing it. It's being acknowledged by President Obama. So I think you don't need to take away credit. Why don't you just simply introspect?
You actually see a virtue in it. That's what I'm pointing out.
Okay. Now
you've been pointing out many things, Mr. Tiwari. You are entitled to point out what you like. I'm saying we'll be judged on our work. The Prime Minister is working. Let the people judge on it.
Around the Mulberry Bush.
Okay.
On a cold January evening.
Okay, hashtag is Modi nuke push. It's the top trending subject of the country tonight. On the other side, we been able to redefine the way America looks at Pakistan. We're going to talk about that. I thank you all for joining me so far in this debate tonight.